Okay, now we're going to get started here. I should warn you, just like every technique we've done this week, this one is going to be messy. So you might choose to use rubber gloves again. It's just that you're going to have glue all over your hands. So it's totally your choice. Today I'm going to purposely put on blue gloves because I want you to be able to see. I guess I'm not using white paper, but I want you to be able to see what we're doing here. So when you do this, what you're going to need is some waxed paper or aluminum foil, something that you can put in between the front cover of your book so that you're not going to have your book stick, because we are using a glue here. So I'm going to try and make sure I do everything in view for you. Okay, so we've got something here. And I am going to start with just the front. I suppose I could do both. Maybe I will, just to make life easy for myself. I'll do both sides at once. That way you can see both sides at once. This is probably the way you'll end up doing your own book. So put some paper under both ends to protect where you're going to be working. Now when you do this first thing, all you're doing is going to be creating the texture. So we're going to start with the paper. And just tear some up bigger than your book cover. And as I said, you're not going to see the writing, so it doesn't matter what direction it goes into, whatever. Okay, we're going to start with that. Now we're going to use the matte medium, and I'm just going to open it up and go right out of the bottle with mine. We're going to start with one side or the other. I guess I'll start with this side here so you can see it. And we're going to put on a pretty heavy coat of matte medium. I mean, honestly, I'm just going to pour some on there and spread it out really good. Make sure to get all the way to the edges. If it goes over the edge a little bit, that's okay. Not a big deal. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm a pretty messy with my supplies, and it's not a big thing to me. Okay, so you see this is lots of it, and it's all over the place, and that's exactly what you want to do. So once you get it like that, we're going to add the texture. The texture is the paper. So lay your paper on there. So what you're going to do is pretty much get the paper all wet with some glue and scrunch it up on here. Now if it goes over the edge, again, don't worry, because we're going to just cut that off later if it's stuck over there. But get it all in here. Once it's on there, again, we're going to do more glue. So put some more glue on there, and you're pretty much adhering a layer of texture. Now I haven't done this on a page. I've only done it on the outside of a book, but you know, the tissue paper is so thin. I've done tissue paper with little bits of it on a page. I can't see why you couldn't do just the entire page this way. Now, you don't have to stop with one layer of tissue paper right here. You can, if you like it, just kind of get a good look at it and see if it's bumpy and the way you want it to be. If it's not, grab yourself some little pieces, crunch them up, and just stick them on there somewhere. It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter how. Just add some more. The only thing you have to make sure of is that you actually have it wet. And when you're done, it will stick. So you can do a couple pieces. I probably wouldn't worry about a whole bunch because I liked it how it was. And you're going to do this with both sides. And some of mine, I mean, the tissue paper got wet. I don't know if you could see it. Some of it's ripping off onto my brush. Or ripping off onto the paper. It's okay, it's perfectly fine. Won't hurt a thing, because it's just going to glue right back on top of itself. So we're going to do that on both sides of this book cover. If it doesn't cover up all this blue on this side, it isn't going to matter. When we're all done, we're going to be adding paint or inks, all kinds of other stuff to this. So you don't have to worry. It's not finished. And again, nice and wet, lots of wet, and just crunch up your paper and stick it on there somehow. Just make sure it gets wet. You can do it both ways. You can do whatever you want to do. After June's over, you're going to definitely have a box of these rubber gloves in your house. I just know it because, boy, I sure did some messy stuff this month, didn't we? So, mush it all up on there. It's not sticking, like right now, it doesn't seem to be sticking for me really good. It just means I need more matte medium there. So, and yes, I put on too much. I know I can see you cringing over there with the cost of a bottle of this stuff. So, if you want, you can just get yourself a bottle of Elmer's glue and water it down. About half a bottle of glue, half a bottle of water, mix it together. Perfectly fine. Works great, does the same thing. And this one, just because it's so wet, I'll probably just keep adding some more texture to here. You can go all the way to the edges if you want to. You can skip that if you want to. It's really whatever your personal choices are. And it doesn't even matter if you're using the printed side or the non-printed side of your paper, because it's not going to matter. It's not going to show. So go through everything. Make sure you get all the edges really good so that it doesn't come up on you later. And I also try to make sure I don't have any big bubbles underneath. It's okay, it's okay if it's globbed up in a pile, that's all right. But I definitely don't want bubbles because those will crack later on. So that's it. Okay, we're gonna let this dry and we're gonna come back and add the colors, and that's done. So if you want, you can just get rid of your paper under there right now so it's not stuck to it. And you're done. So I will see you when this is dry, and then we'll have some fun with it.